The Uversa book, section 1, the central and super universes, paper 30, personalities of the grand universe. The personalities and other than personal entities now functioning on Paradise and in the grand universe constitute a well-nigh limitless number of living beings. Even the number of major orders and types would stagger the human imagination, let alone the countless subtypes and variations. And if they would present all the beings that are in the grand universe, in the central universe, in the super universes, in the local universes, if they would describe each and every being, then we would have a 7-volume counting book series, each of 2,000 pages at least, because the Uversa book is itself already 2097, so almost 2100 pages. So if then a 7-volume book series of at least 2000 pages describing all the beings, then you can imagine how many beings there are and the diversity of beings and entities. They didn't do so because during our ascension we will get to know them, and then it's early enough to know more about these beings. Even the number of major orders and types would stagger the human imagination, let alone the countless subtypes and variations. It is, however, desirable to present something of 2 basic classifications of living beings, a suggestion of the Paradise classification and an abbreviation of the Uversa Personality Register. If it is not possible to formulate comprehensive and entirely consistent classifications of the personalities of the grand universe, because all of the groups are not revealed. It would require numerous additional papers to cover the further revelation required to systematically classify all groups. So here they say it themselves already. It would take numerous additional papers. Such conceptual expansion would hardly be desirable, as it would deprive the thinking mortals of the next 1,000 years of that stimulus to creative speculation which these partially revealed concepts supply. It is best that man not have an over-revelation. It stifles imagination. One, the Paradise classification of living beings. Living beings are classified on Paradise in accordance with inherent and attained relationship to the Paradise deities. During the grand gatherings of the central and super universes, those present are often grouped in accordance with origin, those of triune origin or of Trinity attainment, those of dual origin, and those of single origin. It is difficult to interpret the Paradise classification of living beings to the mortal mind, but we are authorized to present the following. 1. Triune origin beings, beings created by all three paradise deities, either as such or as the Trinity together with the Trinitized corpse, which designation refers to all groups of Trinitized beings, revealed and unrevealed. Group A are the Supreme Spirits. 1. The 7 Master Spirits. 2. The 7 Supreme Executives. 3. The 7 Orders of Reflective Spirits. Part B. The Stationary Sons of the Trinity. 1. Trinitized Secrets of Supremacy. 2. Eternals of Days. 3. Ancients of Days. 4. Perfections of Days. Reasons of Days. Number 6. Unions of Days. Faithfuls of Days. Perfectors of Wisdom. Divine Counselors. And 10. Universal Censors. Part C, which is Group C, Trinity Origin and Trinitized Beings. 1. Trinity Teacher Sons, then Inspired Trinity Spirits, then Havona Natives, then on number 4 Paradise Citizens, then Unrevealed Trinity Origin Beings, number 6 Unrevealed Deity Trinitized Beings, and then Trinitized Sons of Attainment, number 8 Trinitized Sons of Selection, number 9 Trinitized Sons of Perfection, and number 10 Creature Trinitized Sons. Now, then we get to part 2, dual origin beings, those of origin in any two of the paradise deities or otherwise created by any two beings of direct or indirect descent from the paradise deities. Group A, the descending orders: 1. Creator Sons, 2. Magisterial Sons, 3. Bright and Morning Stars, 4. Father Melchizedeks, 5. The Melchizedeks, 6. The Vorondadeks, 7. The Lanonandeks, 8. Brilliant Evening Stars, 9. The Archangels, 10. Life Carriers, 11. Unrevealed Universe Aids, number 12. Unrevealed Sons of God. Group B is the stationary orders: 1. The Abandoners, 2. Cessatia, 3. Univitatia, 4. Spironga, 5. Unrevealed dual origin beings. And then Group C, the ascending orders: 1. Adjuster Fused Mortals, 2. Sun Fused Mortals, 3. Spirit Fused Mortals, 4. Translated Midwayers, and 5. Unrevealed Ascenders. Group 3, single origin beings, those of origin in any one of the paradise deities or otherwise created by any one being of direct or indirect descent from the paradise deities. Alright, Group A, the Supreme Spirits: 1. Gravity Messengers, 2. The 7 Spirits of the Havona Circuits, 3. The 12-fold adjutants of the Havona Circuits, 4. The Reflective Image Aids, 5. Universe Mother Spirits, 6. The 7-fold adjutant Mind Spirits, 7. Unrevealed Deity Origin Beings. Part B, the Ascending Orders: 1. Personalized Adjusters, 2. Ascending Material Sons, 3. Evolutionary Seraphim, 4. Evolutionary Cherubim, 5. Unrevealed Ascenders. Part C, or Group C, the family of the Infinite Spirit: 1. Solitary Messengers, 2. Universe Circuit Supervisors, 3. Census Directors, 4. Personal Aids of the Infinity Spirit, 5. Associate Inspectors, 6. Assigned Sentinels, 7 graduate guides, 8 Havona servitals, 9 universal conciliators, 10 Morantia companions, 11 Supernaphim, 12 Seconaphim, 13 Tertiaphim, 14 Omniaphim, 15 Seraphim, 16 Cherubim and Sanobim, 17 unrevealed spirit origin beings, 18 the 7 supreme power directors, 19 the supreme power centers, 20 the master physical controllers, 21 the Morantia power supervisors. And then group 4, eventuated transcendental beings. There is to be found on Paradise a vast host of transcendental beings whose origin is not ordinarily disclosed to the universes of time and space until they are settled in light and life. These transcendentalers are neither creators nor creatures. They are the eventuated children of divinity, ultimacy, and eternity. These eventuators are neither finite nor infinite. They are absonite, and absonity is neither infinity nor absoluteness, which means it is a state between finite and eternal. A state between, you can say, spiritual and material. These uncreated non-creators are ever loyal to the Paradise Trinity and obedient to the ultimate. They are existent on 4 ultimate levels of personality, activity, and are functional on the 7 levels of the absonite in 12 grand divisions consisting of 1000 major working groups of 7 classes each. These eventuated beings include the following orders: 1. The architects of the Master Universe. 2. Transcendental recorders. 3. Other transcendentalers. 4. Primary eventuated Master Force organizers. And 5. Associate transcendental Master Force organizers. God as a super person eventuates. God as a person creates. God as a pre-person fragments, and such an adjuster fragment of himself evolves the spirit soul upon the material and mortal mind in accordance with the free will choosing of the personality which has been bestowed upon such a mortal creature by the parental act of God as a father. Then we go to the 5th group, which is the fragmented entities of deities. This order of living existence originating in the universal Father is best typified by the thought adjusters, though these entities are by no means the only fragmentations of the pre-personal reality of the first source and center. The functions of the other than adjuster fragments are manifold and little known. Fusion with an adjuster or other such fragment constitutes the creature a father-fused being. The fragmentations of the pre-mind spirit of the third source and center, though hardly comparable to the father fragments, should be here recorded. Such entities differ very greatly from adjusters. They do not as such dwell on spiriting ton, nor do they as such traverse the mind gravity circuits, neither do they indwell mortal creatures during the life in the flesh. They are not pre-personal in the sense that the adjusters are but such a fragment of pre-mind spirit are bestowed upon certain of the surviving mortals, and fusion therewith constitutes them spirit-fused mortals, in contradistinction to adjuster-fused mortals. Still more difficult of description is the individualized spirit of a creator son, union with which constitutes the creature a sun-fused mortal, and there are still other fragmentations of deity. Then we have the sixth group, superpersonal beings. There is a vast host of other than personal beings of divine origin and of manifold surface in the universe of universes. Certain of these beings are resident on the paradise worlds of the sun. Others, like the superpersonal representatives of the eternal sun, are encountered elsewhere. They are for the most part unmentioned in these narratives, and it would be quite futile to attempt their description to personal creatures. Then we have the seventh group, which is unclassified and unrevealed orders. During the present universe age, it would not be possible to place all beings, personal or otherwise, within classifications pertaining to the present universe age, nor have all such categories been revealed in these narratives. Hence, numerous orders have been omitted from these lists. Consider the following: the consummator of universe destiny, the qualified vicegerents of the ultimate, the unqualified supervisors of the supreme, the unrevealed creative agencies of the ancients of days, Majeston of Paradise, the unnamed reflectivator liaisons of Majeston, and the Mitsonite orders of the local universes. No special significance need attach to the listening of these orders together, except that none of them appear in the Paradise classification as revealed herein. These are the unclassified few. You have yet to learn of the unrevealed many. There are spirits, spirit entities, spirit presences, personal spirits, pre-personal spirits, superpersonal spirits, spirit existences, spirit personalities, but neither mortal language nor mortal intellect are adequate. We may, however, state that there are no personalities of, between quotation marks, pure mind. No entity has personality unless he is endowed with it by a God himself who is spirit. Any mind entity that is not associated with either spiritual or physical energy is not a personality. But in the same sense that there are spirit personalities who have a mind, there are mind personalities who have spirit. Majeston and his associates are very good illustrations of mind-dominated beings, but there are better illustrations of this type of personality unknown to you. There are even whole unrevealed orders of such mind personalities, but they are always spirit associated. Certain other unrevealed creatures are what might be termed mindal and physical energy personalities. This type of being is non-responsive to spirit gravity, but is nonetheless a true personality, is within the Father's circuit. These papers cannot even begin to exhaust the story of the living creatures, creators, eventuators, and still otherwise existent beings who live and worship and serve in the swarming universes of time and in the central universes of eternity. You mortals are persons, hence we can describe beings who are personalized. But how could an absolutized being ever be explained to you? Well, this will eventually be explained as soon as we travel through the mentioned worlds, because we will then experience from then on school after school, you can say university after university, training after training, workshop after workshop that we go through. Actually, the life that we as mortals are living here on Urantia is a life that is in comparison of the lives that are awaiting for us quite relaxed in such a way, because as soon as we go to the next world, Urantia is the first world where we have begun our journey of ascension. We are here to experience what it is to be a mortal and to live a mortal life. And we are climbing up the ladder, so to speak. The Paradise Creator Son Michael, whom we know better as Jesus of Nazareth, he was coming from above to below. So he descended, he came up from the top of the ladder and walked down the ladder to experience himself what it is to be a mortal and to experience what it is to live a mortal life, so that he understands the mortal beings, the mortal creatures that he himself created with the help of the local universe Mother Spirit. So this universe, this local universe that is named Nebadon, is in actuality created by Paradise Creator Son Michael, whom we better know as Jesus of Nazareth, and he did this in togetherness with the local universe Mother Spirit. So actually you can say that Jesus of Nazareth, who has become Christ. Michael is our Father, is God the Father of us whom are living here on Urantia in this local universe. And because Jesus or Christ Michael is a paradise creator son that came forth out of the combining effort between God the Father and the eternal Son, he is a piece of God himself. He is actually a piece of the living source and center from which light and life came forth, also known as the Almighty I Am that I am. All right. So that is why they cannot explain everything to us, because we are not able to understand this, to grasp that information, because we are experiencing what it is to be a mortal that is living a mortal life. If you are living, let's say, take for an example, you a seraphic angel cannot understand. If you would explain to a seraphic angel a mortal being, then it cannot grasp what it is, because the seraphic angel itself is a spiritual being. It's not of any mortalness, so it does not know the complexity of living and experience a mortal life, what that entails, and what's like to be in a mortal world, in a mortal realm, living in flesh, and all the limitations that is bringing. So it does not understand that. It does not know what it's like to have clothes on. It doesn't know what it's like to have shoes on your feet. It does not know how sometimes it can be difficult to have yourselves transported from place A to place B. So that is why they say we cannot understand the explanation of all the beings. So that is why they did not write down all the beings that are existing in this local universe, in all the super universes, in the central universe, and in the grand universe, and thus in paradise also, because we cannot understand that, because we are not in that state. So it is early enough to discuss and get to know these beings more and more if we are progressing from one world into another world. So this is the mortal realm, mortal world, and our next step will be the first mentioned world, and we go through one mentioned world into another, into another, into another, until we end up as pilgrims of time on Uversa. And in the meantime, when we walk through the mentioned worlds, we get to know more and more about the beings and entities that are in this local universe and are in the super universes. And then we go to the second subchapter of this paper, the Uversa Personality Register. The divine family of living beings is registered on Uversa in 7 grand divisions. 1. The paradise deities. 2. The supreme spirits. 3. The Trinity origin beings. 4. The sons of God. 5. Personalities of the infinite spirit. 6. The universe power directors. 7. The corps of permanent citizenship. These groups of will creatures are divided into numerous classes and minor subdivisions. The presentation of this classification of the personalities of the grand universe is, however, chiefly concerned in setting forth those orders of intelligent beings who have been revealed in these narratives, most of whom will be encountered in the ascendant experience. Of the mortals of time on their progressive climb to paradise. The following listings make no mention of vast orders of universe beings who carry forward their work apart from the mortal ascension scheme. The first group is the paradise deities. 1. The universal Father. 2. The eternal Son. 3. The infinite Spirit. Then we have the second group, the supreme spirits. 1. The 7 master spirits. 2. The 7 supreme executives. 3. The 7 groups of reflective spirits. And 4. The reflective image aids. 5. The 7 spirits of the circuits. 6. Local universe creative spirits. And 7 adjutant mind spirits. The third group is the Trinity origin beings. 1. Trinitized secrets of supremacy. 2. Eternals of days. 3. Ancients of days. 4. Perfections of days. 5. Reasons of days. 6. Unions of days. 7. Faithfuls of days. 8. Trinity teacher sons. 9. Perfecters of wisdom. 10. Divine counselors. 11. Universal censors. 12. Inspired Trinity spirits. 13. Avona natives. And 14. Paradise citizens. And then the fourth group is the sons of God. And this group is in 3 parts. Group A, descending sons. 1. Creator sons, the Michaels. 2. Magisterial sons, the Avonals. 3. Trinity teacher sons, the Danals. 4. The Melchizedek sons. 5. Vorondadek sons. 6. Lanonandek sons. 7. Life carrier sons. Group B is ascending sons. 1. Father fused mortals. 2. Son fused mortals. 3. Spirit fused mortals. 4. Evolutionary seraphim. 5. Ascending material sons. 6. Translated midwayers. 7. Personalized adjusters. And then group C, which is Trinitized sons. 1. Mighty messengers. 2. Those high in authority. 3. Those without name and number. 4. Trinitized custodians. 5. Trinitized ambassadors. 6. Celestial guardians. 7. High sun assistants. 8. Ascender Trinitized sons. 9. Paradise Havona Trinitized sons. And 10. Trinitized sons of deity. Then part 5 personalities of the infinite spirit. Group A, higher personalities of the infinite spirit. 1. Solitary messengers. 2. Universe circuit supervisors. 3. Census directors. 4. Personal aides of the infinite spirit. 5. Associate inspectors. 6. Assigned sentinels. And 7. Graduate guides. Group B, the messenger hosts of space. 1. Havona servitals. 2. Universal conciliators. 3. Technical advisors. 4. Custodians of records on paradise. 5. Celestial recorders. 6. Morontia companions. 7. Paradise companions. Group C, the ministering spirits. 1. Supernapheme. 2. Seconapheme. 3. Tertiapheme. 4. Omniapheme. 5. Seraphim. 6. Cherubim and Sanobim. And 7. Midwayers. And then part 6, which is the universe power directors. Group A is the 7 supreme power directors. Group B is supreme power centers. 1. Supreme centers supervisors. 2. Havona centers. 3. Super universe centers. 4. Local universe centers. 5. Constellation centers. 6. System centers. 7. Unclassified centers. And then we have a group C in this one, whom are the master physical controllers. In this group are 1. Associate power directors. 2. Mechanical controllers. 3. Energy transformers. 4. Energy transmitters. 5. Primary associators. And 6. Secondary dissociators. 7. Friendalengs and chronoldecs. And group D, this group is Morontia power supervisors and is formed by 1. Circuit regulators. 2. System coordinators. 3. Planetary custodians. 4. Combined controllers. 5. Liaison stabilizers. 6. Selective assorters. And 7. Associate registrars. Then we go to the 7th group. This is the corps of permanent citizenship. In this group we find 1. The planetary midwayers. 2. The Adamic sons of the systems. 3. The constellation Univitatia. 4. The local universe Sasatia. 5. Spirit-fused mortals of the local universes. 6. The super-universe abandoners. 7. Sun-fused mortals of the super-universes. 8. The Havona natives. 9. Natives of the paradise spheres of the spirit. 10. Natives of the Father's paradise spheres. 11. The created citizens of paradise. And 12. Adjuster fused mortal citizens of paradise. This is the working classification of the personalities of the universes as they are of record on the headquarters world of Uversa. Many of them are already discussed in earlier papers, so go through all the audio videos and you will come to know whom they are. Others will be probably described and discussed in the section that is all about the local universe. And some of them even can be mentioned in the 3rd section of this book, which is all about the history of Urantia. So the majority of them will, better said, the majority of them is already been described, and the others will be described. Composite personality groups. There are on Uversa the records of numerous additional groups of intelligent beings that are also closely related to the organization and administration of the grand universe. Among such orders are the following three composite personality groups. A. The Paradise Corps of the Finality. In this group we find 1. The Corps of Mortal Finaliters, 2. The Corps of Paradise Finaliters, 3. The Corps of Trinitized Finaliters, 4. The Corps of Conjoined Trinitized Finaliters, 5. The Corps of Havona Finaliters, 6. The Corps of Transcendental Finaliters, and 7. The Corps of Unrevealed Sons of Destiny. The mortal corpse of the finality is dealt with in the next and final paper of this series, which is paper 31. So then we go into the corpse into the mortal corpse at and of the finality. All right, group B is the universe aids. In this group we find all the bright and morning stars, 2 the brilliant evening stars, 3 all these archangels, and 4 most high assistants, 5 high commissioners, 6 celestial overseers, 7 mention world teachers. On all headquarter worlds, better said, on all headquarters worlds of both local and super universes, provision is made for these beings who are engaged in specific missions for the Creator Sons, the local universe rulers. We welcome these universe aids and on Uversa, but we have no jurisdiction over them. Such emissaries prosecute their work and carry on their observations under authority of the Creator Sons. Their activities are more fully described in the narrative of your local universe. This is then the last group, Group C, the 7 courtesy colonies. In this group we find 1 star students, 2 celestial artisans, 3 reversion directors, 4 extension school instructors, 5 the various reserve corps, 6 student visitors, and 7 ascending pilgrims, which we are. These 7 groups of beings will be found thus organized and governed. On all headquarters worlds from the local systems up to the capitals of the super universes, particularly the latter. The capitals of the 7 super universes are the meeting places for almost all classes and orders of intelligent beings. With the exception of numerous groups of paradise avoners, here the will creatures of every phase of existence may be observed and studied. The third subchapter of this paper is all about the courtesy colonies. The 7 courtesy colonies sojourn on the architectural spheres for a longer or shorter time while engaged in the furtherance of their missions and in the execution of their special assignments. Their work may be described as follows. 1. The star students, the celestial astronomers, choose to work on spheres like Uversa because such specifically and specially constructed worlds are unusually favorable for their observations and calculations. Uversa is favorably situated for the work of this colony, not only because of its central location, but also because there are no gigantic living or dead suns near at hand to disturb the energy currents. These students are not in any manner organically connected with the affairs of the super universe. They are merely guests. The astronomical colony of Uversa contains individuals from many nearby realms, from the central universe and even from Norlatiadek. Any being on any world in a system of any universe may become a star student, may aspire to join some corps of celestial astronomers. Well, what I get in my mind right now is all those people on Urantia, for many still known as Earth. You have many who are very into astronomy, and it could be that these eventually, when they progress on their path of ascension, could be that all the knowledge that they have collected in this lifetime, if they have collected in such a way that they also have added the spiritual component to it, because knowledge without a spiritual component is worthless. So I hope truly that they have added the spiritual component to it. If so, then their soul has an enormous you can say beneficial step in this, and this could be of very helpful when they are progressing on their path of ascension, because that information can be very useful eventually in other realms and worlds that they will traverse through. The only requisites are continuing a life and sufficient knowledge of the worlds of space, especially their physical laws of evolution and control. Star students are not required to serve eternally in this corps, but no one admitted to this group may withdraw under 1 millennium of Uversa time. The star observer colony of Uversa now numbers over 1 million. These astronomers come and go, though some remain for comparatively long periods. Then they carry on their work with the aid of a multitude of mechanical instruments and physical appliances. They are also greatly assisted by the solitary messengers and other spirit explorers. These celestial astronomers make constant use of the living energy, transformers and transmitters, as well as of the reflective use of the living energy transformers and transmitters, as well as of the reflective personalities in their work of star study and space survey. They study all forms and phases of space, material, and energy manifestations, and they are just as much interested in force function as in stellar phenomena. Nothing in all space escapes their scrutiny. Similar astronomers, colonies are to be found on the sector headquarters worlds of the super universe, as well as on the architectural capitals of the local universes and their administrative subdivisions. Except on Paradise, knowledge is not inherent. Understanding of the physical universe is largely dependent on observation and research. Then the second in the group is the celestial artisans. They serve throughout the 7 super universes. Ascending mortals have their initial contact with these groups in the Morontia career of the local universe. In this connection with these artisans will be more fully discussed. And then 3, the reversion directors are the promoters of relaxation and humor, reversion to past memories. They are of great service in the practical operation of the ascending scheme of mortal progression, especially during the earlier phases of Morontia, transition, and spirit experiences. Their story belongs to the narrative of the mortal career in the local universe. And then the fourth group already, extension school instructors, the next higher residential world of the ascendant career, always maintains strong corps of teachers on the world just below a sort of preparatory school for the progressing residents of that sphere. This is a phase of the ascendant scheme for advancing the pilgrims of time. These schools, their methods of instruction and examinations are wholly unlike anything which you essay to conduct on Urantia. Well, better said, the entire education system on Urantia is one joke. No matter which part you are in, university or high school, whatever, or junior high, the entire educational system on Urantia is one great joke. The entire ascendant plan of mortal progression is characterized by the practice of giving out to other beings new truth and experience just as soon as acquired. You work your way through the long school of paradise attainment by serving as teachers to those pupils just behind you in the scale of progression. So that is nice to know, that you can then assist your brethren that come after you, as all those are assisting us who come after them and are before us. Then we have number 5, the various reserve corps, vast reserves of beings not under our immediate supervision are mobilized on Uversa as the reserve corps colony. There are 70 primary divisions of this colony on Uversa, and it is a liberal education to be permitted to spend a season with these extraordinary personalities. And similar general reserves are maintained on Selfington and other universe capitals. They are dispatched on active service on the requisition of their respective group directors. Then we go to the sixth one of this group, the student visitors from all the universe. A constant stream of celestial visitors pours through the various headquarters worlds as individuals and as classes. These various types of beings flock in upon us as observers, exchange pupils and student helpers. On Uversa at present there are over 1 billion persons in this courtesy colony. Some of these visitors may tarry a day, others may remain a year, all dependent on the nature of their mission. This colony contains almost every class of universe beings except creator personalities and Morontia mortals. Morontia mortals are student visitors only within the confines of the local universe of their origin. They may visit in a super universe capacity only after they have attained spirit status. Fully 1/2 of our visitor colony consists of so-called stopovers, beings en route elsewhere who pause to visit the Orphanton capital. These personalities may be executing a universe assignment, or they may be enjoying a period of leisure, freedom from assignment, the privilege of intra universe. They split it in a way that's not handy to read. The privilege of intra-universe travel and observation is a part of the career of all ascending beings. The human desire to travel and observe new peoples and worlds will be fully gratified during the long and eventful climb to paradise through the local super and central universes. And then the last one, finally, in this group, the ascending pilgrims. The ascending pilgrims are assigned to various services in connection with their paradise progression. They are domiciled as a courtesy colony on the various headquarters spheres, while functioning here and there throughout a super universe. Such groups are largely self-governing. They are an ever-shifting colony embracing all orders of evolutionary mortals and their ascending associates. And then I'm going to read a bit faster because this is such a long paper. Part 4 of this paper, the ascending mortals. While the mortal survivors of time and space are denominated ascending pilgrims when accredited for the progressive ascent to paradise, these evolutionary creatures occupy such an important place in these narratives that we here desire to present a synopsis of the following 7 stages of the ascending universe career. 1. Planetary mortals. 2. Sleeping survivors. 3. Mansion world students. 4. Morontia progressors. 5. Super universe wards. 6. Havona pilgrims. And 7. Paradise arrivals. The following narrative presents the universe career of an adjuster indwelt mortal. The sun and spirit fused mortals share portions of this career, but we have elected to tell this story as it pertains to the adjuster fused mortals, for such a destiny may be anticipated by all of the human races of Urantia. It's a 20-page counting paper, so that's why I'm a bit rushing through. One planetary mortals. Mortals are all animal origin evolutionary beings of ascendant potential. So all those who do not believe in evolution, I would suggest wake up. Because the Bible is completely incorrect about the whole creational story. That 2-page counting story in this lousy framework of the book of Genesis is so incomplete, so incorrect, and so not describing the actual origin and existence of the human race. Better said, there is actually nothing mentioned about the real creation of humanity in the Bible. And unfortunately, a lot of people are, for generation after generation, still believing primitive religion and are declaring it as the word of God, which is not. It is the word written by man, and this book is also declared by man itself as holy. And to be very precise, the Bible is a fetish book, because as soon as you start to idolize words, you do fetishism. So we are now learning through the Urantia book, we are learning the actual background of the origin of the human races. And the human races contain many races. Although many of these races are extinct, does not mean that we are still carrying the races information in our DNA. In origin, nature, and destiny, these various groups and types of human beings are not wholly unlike the Urantia peoples. The human races of each world receive the same ministry of the sons of God and enjoy the presence of the ministering spirits of time. After natural death, all types of ascenders fraternize as one Urantia family on the mentioned worlds. So we will also, when we go to the first mentioned world, we will also meet other humans from other worlds of this local universe. 2 sleeping survivors. These are all the people who die and come into a specific place in the mentioned world. So sleeping survivors, all mortals of survival status. What does that mean? These are the mortals who have chosen to make sure that their soul would survive. Not the body, because the body is irrelevant and not of any importance. It's nothing more than just a vehicle that brings us from place A to B. And the only importance to the body is nothing more than just keep it in a basic condition, as you do also with your car. You need to see the body as your car. So sometimes you need to do some oil refreshing, and then another time you have to fill up the gas tank. You have to fill up the container in which you add the fluid to have your windows cleansed. That is the same with your body. Your body is nothing more than to be seen as your car. So all this ridiculousness that is going on, Urantia, where people are so tremendously over focused on their body, that is to keep those human beings completely stuck in the flesh and doing the will of the flesh, and completely staying stuck in this false illusion that your life depends on your body. By doing all sorts of things to the body which is ridiculous and has no use at all. The body is nothing more than what a car is for the majority of people here on Urantia. It is a vehicle, transportation vehicle. It brings, because we are a spirit and we need a vehicle here in the mortal realm to come from A to B. Yeah, so, and the car is the vehicle for the body, so that the body can replace itself or bring itself from one place to another. So you need to do some basic some basic service to it, which means that make sure that the food and drinks that you are drinking are okay for the body, are not in such a way poisonous. That's why you need to do prayer over your over your food and drinks, especially your food. So do not overeat yourselves, have normal exercise, go for long walks, go for long cycling, but have normal exercise. If you do gardening, just do gardening by hands and not with machines and whatever, just simple tools and attributes that you use to use your muscles. And that's the whole point. People do not use their muscles anymore. They use their muscles in an artificial way by going to the gym or fitness center, whatever it's called, and that is not working in a natural way with your muscles. It's artificial because you use a machine to build up muscle tension and muscle strength. But the actual way that is preferred is being in the open air. Do normal exercise, and that is okay. The body is not wanting to be over exercised, and actually all these people that go to gym and fitness centers, they are over exercising the body and causing harm to their bodies, which is not necessary to harm your body. That is the third thing, actually, besides of good food and drinks. Do not over exercise your body. It harms your body, and it makes only that you get bruises and eventually that your muscle system will be injured and so on. So normal exercise. But it's also because people do not listen to the signs of their bodies anymore, because the majority of humanity, and I can truly say that at least 85% of the human race, if not 95% of the human race, is not in contact with their body at all, do not even feel things, and cannot even explain if they have something where it is truly localized, because they're not in contact with their body. People are partially out of their body, and if you're partially out of your body, you do not feel your body, and so you do not recognize the signals that your body is giving, that it is asking you to do. If your body is asking for a long walk, you do a long walk. If your body is asking for rest, you take rest. If your body is asking for a long cycling, then you do a long cycling. But that is the whole point. People do not listen anymore to their bodies, because they have been absorbed in such a way by this whole stupid entertainment industry that is nothing more than a world of lies and a false fantasy. So it's about time that people are coming back into their body and start feeling all their pains, traumatizations, and whatever they are avoiding on daily basis. And that is also one of the reasons why this world is one gigantic chaos and one mess. Because people are avoiding at all costs pains, traumas, griefs, bitterness, hatred, anger, envy, jealousy, pride in themselves, and to work with themselves to reduce all of them and to have them in perfect balance, and to eliminate jealousy, to eliminate envy, to eliminate hate, to eliminate anger, and to eliminate all traumas. This world is loaded with sickness, and all people, and there are not many people who are really healthy, and I can truly see and say that the majority of the human race is in a very sick condition, and especially mentally sick. And if you're mentally sick, you're physically sick. So sleeping survivors, all mortals of survival status in the custody of personal guardians of destiny, pass through the portals of natural death and on the third period, personalize on the mention worlds. Those accredited beings who have for any reason been unable to attain that level of intelligence, mastery, and endowment of spirituality which would entitle them to personal guardians, cannot thus immediately and directly go to the mentioned worlds. Such surviving souls must rest in unconscious sleep until the judgment day of a new epoch. As soon as on this planet a magisterial sun arrives, and in the word magisterial we have the word magi. Magi is another word for judge. Then we can say judgment day has arrived. And this means also the release for all these sleeping survivors, which means the resurrection of all these sleeping survivors in the mentioned world. And this does not mean resurrection in the sense of that all the bones all of a sudden spring out of the ground, get flesh on the body, and so on, as described in the Bible in the book of Ezekiel. I think it's Ezekiel 35 that it has been described. It's not in any way, shape or form as such. So it's not that all of a sudden the graveyards come alive and all the dead bones get all immediate flesh on it and whatsoever, because what is the use for doing such a thing? Why should these people arise again in the flesh? So with knowing this, you can already then notice what a ridiculous story this is in the book of Ezekiel. Because resurrection is being given at that moment when a magisterial sun is arriving on a planet or world, better said, and when a magisterial sun arrives, a new epoch has come into activation, so to speak, and because of this, the sleeping survivors will be resurrected in the mentioned world. A new dispensation, that's also called a new dispensation, the coming of a Son of God to call the rolls of the age and educate the realm. And this is the general practice throughout all Nebadon. It was said of Christ Michael that when he ascended on high at the conclusion of his work on earth, he led a great multitude of captives, which means when Christ Michael arrived here on Urantia, there was then you can say with his arrival a new epoch for Urantia started. And because of this, a lot of sleeping survivors could be resurrected. And these captives were the sleeping survivors from the days of Adam to the day of the Master's resurrection on Urantia. So on the day that Jesus resurrected, all the sleeping survivors got resurrected in the mentioned world. So this whole resurrection that is described in the Bible is lacking background information and makes it incomplete and incorrect. And that is why we need to go beyond the Bible and leave, and better said, set that book aside and do not treat it as if it is the most high standard of standards, because it's not. It's outdated. It is containing primitive religion, and it keeps people stuck into primitive religion, and it's about time that we let go of primitive religion and grow up and become adults. And the Urantia book is the new wine that we should drink and absorb, and through this we become more mature. We get a better understanding of whom we are, why we are here, what our next step is, and we get a deeper background information about the existence of Urantia, the world we are part of, the local universe Urantia as world is part of. We get a deeper understanding of the building up of the super universes, the central universe, the grand universe, and paradise, and not to forget the deeper and deeper understanding of the entire Trinity and what is called the Holy Trinity, because there is a lack of true, correct information about the Trinity. At the moment, many people are rejecting the Trinity, which is utterly dangerous to do. That means that you are actually rebellious against God, against God's eternal Son. You are rebellious to the Paradise Creator Son Michael, whom we know as Jesus of Nazareth in this world, if you start to reject the existence of the Trinity, and also if you think that the Trinity is a by Greek philosophy created idea and thus a man-created idea. All those people lack information, and these people are seemingly and unfortunately not that much hungry and thirsty enough to receive higher spiritual truths. The passing of time is of no moment to sleeping mortals. They are wholly unconscious and oblivious to the length of their rest. On assembly of personality, at the end of an age, those who have slept 5,000 years will react no differently than those who have rested 5 days. Aside from this time delay, these survivors pass on through the ascension regime identically with those who avoid the longer or shorter sleep of death. These dispensational classes of world pilgrims are utilized for group Morantia activities in the work of the local universes. There is a great advantage in the mobilization of such enormous groups. They are thus kept together for long periods of effective service. Then we go to the third one, which is the mention world students. How many are we? Oh, still not even on the half. All surviving mortals who reawaken on the mentioned worlds belong to this class. The physical body of mortal flesh is thankfully not part and not a part of the reassembly of the sleeping survivor. The physical body has returned to dust. The seraphim of assignment sponsors the new body. Well, better said, the body just dissolves. The flesh body dissolves. They call it as returned to dust because we are so accustomed to that story of being created out of dust. Well, the only dust that is not the sand. What is sand? You can say sand is something as stardust. We are being created from stardust, not of sand. The seraphim of assignment sponsors the new body, the Morantia form, as the new life vehicle for the immortal soul and for the indwelling of the returned adjuster. So probably, yeah, the adjuster leaves the body for a while until you are resurrected, and then the adjuster comes back. The adjuster is the custodian of the spirit transcript of the mind of the sleeping survivor. The assigned seraphim is the keeper of the surviving identity, the immortal soul, as far as it has evolved. And when these two, the adjuster and the seraphim, reunite their personality trusts, the new individual constitutes the resurrection of the old personality, the survival of the evolving Morantia identity of the soul. So, what makes the soul? The soul is Morantia identity. Such a reassociation of soul and adjuster is quite properly called a resurrection. So it is really of great matter, great importance, better said, that we start to undo ourselves from all this old ideas, concepts, doctrines, and whatever that man themselves has and have produced so far, and that we start to renew ourselves, or better said, correct ourselves with information that brings us back onto the path that we should have been onto. If not, the whole Lucifer rebellion would have been started here, because the Lucifer rebellion has started here on this world, on Urantia. Lucifer was the system sovereign of Satania. Satania is the system of Urantia, system headquarters of Urantia. a reassembly of personality factors, but even this does not entirely explain the reappearance of the surviving personality, though you will probably never understand the fact of such an inexplicable transaction. You will sometime experientially know the truth of it if you do not reject the plan of mortal survival. How do you know that you do not reject the plan of mortal survival? Well, if you are being led into higher spiritual truths. And that is why it is of importance to say and to better ask in prayer to God the Father how you can make sure that your soul survives. What is soul surviving also? That means that you distract yourselves from all worldly nonsense and all by man created problems, worries, strugglings, and whatsoever. And all things that are happening in this world are of no importance. So turn your back to God again and just follow His pathway of His will. Because that is what it means when you do the will of God. You are walking the path of the will of God. And only be in the outer world just for grocery shopping, nice walk and a nice cycling tour in the surroundings, and that's it. And do some nice camping or whatever, real camping, not the luxurious, over luxurious type of camping that the majority of people are doing, but real camping where you are learning yourselves some skills and are learning to discover what you are capable and able of, and where you are in closer contact with God the Father Himself. But even this does not entirely explain the reappearance of the surviving personality, though you will probably never understand the fact of such an inexplicable transaction. You will sometime experientially know the truth of it if you do not reject the plan of mortal survival. The plan of initial mortal detention on 7 worlds of progressive training is nearly universal in orphantom. In each local system of approximately 1,000 inhabited planets, there are 7 mentioned worlds. So 7 mentioned worlds. Yeah, that is why your whole ascending career can literally take thousands upon thousands upon thousands, if not a million or several million years. So be patient, I would say, with eventually reaching paradise. The plan of initial mortal detention on 7 worlds of progressive training is nearly universal in orphanton. In each local system of approximately 1,000 inhabited planets, there are 7 mentioned worlds, usually satellites or sub-satellites of the system capital. They are the receiving worlds for the majority of ascending mortals. Sometimes all training worlds of mortal residence are called universe mansions. So that is what Jesus said in my Father's house there are many mansions. Mansions also refers to training worlds of mortal residence. are called universe mansions, and it was to such spheres that Jesus alluded when he said, "In my Father's house are many mansions." From here on, within a given group of spheres, like the mansion worlds, ascenders will progress individually from one sphere to another, and from one phase of life to another, but they will always advance from one stage of universe study to another in class formation. For Morontia progressors from the mansion worlds on up through the spheres of the system, constellation and the universe, mortals are classed as Morontia progressors. They are traversing the transition spheres of mortal ascension. As the ascending mortals progress from the lower to the higher of the Morontia worlds, they serve on countless assignments in association with their teachers and in company with their more advanced and senior brethren. Morontia progression pertains to continuing advancement of intellect, spirit and personality form. Survivors are still three-natured beings throughout the entire Morontia experience. They are wards of the local universe. The regime of the super universes does not function until the spirit career begins. Mortals acquire real spirit identity just before they leave the local universe headquarters for the receiving worlds of the minor sectors of the super universe, passing from the final Morontia stage to the first or lowest spirit status. Is but a slight transition. The mind, personality and character are unchanged by such an advance, only does the form undergo modification, but the spirit form is just as real as the Morontia body, and it is equally discernible. Before departing from their native local universes for the super universes, receiving worlds, the mortals of time are recipients of spirit confirmation from the Creator Sun and the local universe mother spirits. From this point on, the status of the ascending mortal is forever settled. Super universe awards have never been known to go astray. Ascending seraphim are also advanced in angelic standing at the time of their departure from the local universe. Then point 5, super universe wards. All ascenders arriving on the training worlds of the super universes become the wards of the Ancients of Days. They have traversed the Morontia life of the local universe and are now accredited spirits. As young spirits, they begin the ascension of the super universe system of training and culture, extending from receiving spheres of their minor sector in through the study worlds of the 10 major sectors and on to the higher cultural spheres of the super universe headquarters. There are 3 orders of student spirits in accordance with their sojourn upon the minor sector, major sectors and the super universe headquarters worlds of spirit progression. As Morontia ascenders studied and worked on the worlds of the local universe. So spirit ascenders continue to master new worlds while they practice at giving out the others that which they have imbibed at the experiential founts of wisdom. But going to school as a spirit being in the super universe career is very unlike anything that has ever entered the imaginative realms of the material mind of man. Well, better said, we do not have even a clue what the school system is like in the universe. I think it should have been the same here on Urantia, but what I've said before, the entire education system is one gigantic joke. People do not learn anything. If people would get this information learned, then we would have been a better world. Before leaving the super universe for Havona, these ascending spirits received the same thorough course in super universe management that they received during their Morantia experience in local universe supervision. Before spirit mortals reach Havona, their chief study but not exclusive occupation is the mastery of local and super universe administration. The reason for all of this experience is not now fully apparent, but no doubt such training is wise and necessary in view of their possible future destiny as members of the corps of the finality. The super universe regime is not the same for all ascending mortals. They receive the same general education, but special groups and classes are carried through special courses of instruction and are put through specific courses of training. Well, what is being said here, that each and every being will be seen what their talents are, what their capabilities are, and so being tested in what they are good at, and that will also have an outcome on the course that you are going through. 6. Havona pilgrims. When spirit development is complete, even though not replete, then the surviving mortal prepares for the long flight to Havona, the heaven, or better said haven, of evolutionary spirits. On earth you were a creature of flesh and blood. Through the local universe you were a Morantia being. Through the super universe you were an evolving spirit. With your arrival on the receiving worlds of Havona, your spiritual education begins in reality and in earnest. Your eventual appearance on paradise will be as a perfected spirit. The journey from the super universe headquarters to the Havona receiving spheres is always made alone. From now on, no more class or group instruction will be administered. You are through with the technical and administrative training of the evolutionary worlds of time and space. Now begins your personal education, your individual spiritual training from first to last throughout all Havona. The instruction is personal and threefold in nature: intellectual, spiritual, and experiential. The first act of your Havona career will be to recognize and thank your transport Sakona theme for the long and safe journey. Then you are presented to those beings who will sponsor your early Havona activities. Next, you go to register your arrival and prepare your message of thanksgiving and adoration for dispatch to the Creator Son of your local universe. So there you can say, there we probably will have a meet up with Jesus himself, the Universe Father who made possible your sonship career. Because the Creator Son of this local universe is Michael, better known as Jesus of Nazareth. This concludes the formalities of the Havona arrival, whereupon you are accorded a long period of leisure for free observation. And this affords opportunity for looking up your friends, fellows, and associates of the long ascension experience. You may also consult the broadcasts to ascertain who of your fellow pilgrims have departed for Havona since the time of your leaving Uversa. The fact of your arrival on the receiving worlds of Havona will be duly transmitted to the headquarters of your local universe and personally conveyed to your seraphic guardian wherever that seraphim may chance to be. The ascendant mortals have been thoroughly trained in the affairs of the evolutionary worlds of space. Now they begin their long and profitable contact with the created spheres of perfection. What a preparation for some future work is afforded by this combined, unique, and extraordinary experience. So that is one of the main important reasons why you should start reading the Urantia book, because if you are deciding to read this Urantia book, you do a tremendous favor to your soul. You bring the best gift you ever could bring to your soul, because reading the Urantia book is making the preparations for the next step in your ascension career. But I cannot tell you about Havona. You must see these worlds to appreciate their glory or to understand their grandeur. And then 7 paradise arrivals, the last of this group. On reaching paradise with a residential status, you begin the progressive course in divinity and absoluty. Your residence on paradise signifies that you have found God. So this is what it means in finding God. Finding God, if people say you need to find God, it's not only finding God in your heart, but it is also literally finding God by saying to yourself that you want to make sure that your soul survives from this mortal life, and that your soul will be able to do the ascension career, which means that you are accepting, acknowledging, and embracing this ascension career. If you do so, you make the step of surviving your soul. Your residence on paradise signifies that you have found God and that you are to be mustered into the mortal corpse of the finality of all the creatures of the grand universe. Only those who are father fused are mustered into the mortal corpse of the finality. Only such individuals take the finaliter oath. Other beings of paradise perfection or attainment may be temporarily attached to this finality corpse, but they are not of eternal assignment to the unknown and unrevealed mission of this accumulating host of the evolutionary and perfected veterans of time and space, which will be something that we can become eventually. Being arrivals, paradise arrivals, are accorded a period of freedom after which they begin their associations with the 7 groups of the primary supernaphim. They are designated paradise graduates when they have finished their course with the conductors of worship, and then, as finalizers, are assigned on observational and cooperative service to the ends of the far-flung creation. As yet, there seems to be no specific or settled employment for the mortal corpse of finaliters, though they serve in many capacities on worlds settled in light and life. On worlds settled in life and in light and life. This is the path. Forget the idea of human understanding of the narrow path, because we have a complete disrupted image about the narrow path, and we do not understand what the narrow path means. Actually, it is a meaning that eventually, and this is something you can say in prayer, that you truly would, that you're truly asking God to lead you back onto the path of light and life. And if you say this to God the Father, then you need to understand that everything will change in your life to prepare yourselves to eventually succeed in coming back onto the path of light and life, and which means that you then will be a part of worlds settled in light and life. Eventually, Urantia will also be a world that will be a world of light and life, but that takes hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe a million of years. It all depends on the inhabitants. If there should be no future or unrevealed destiny for the mortal corpse of the finality, the present assignment of these ascendant beings would be altogether adequate and glorious. Why do I say it depends on the inhabitants, inhabited people of Urantia? Because they are the one that are actually, can cause delay for themselves, not for the world itself, but for themselves. And so then this whole idea of light and life can be delayed. Their present destiny wholly justifies the universal plan of evolutionary ascent, but the future ages of the evolution of the spheres of outer space will undoubtedly further elaborate and with more repleteness divinely illuminate the wisdom and loving kindness of the sons of God. It's being stated here of the gods, but I say the sons of gods, that's the sons of God, in the execution of their divine plan of human survival and mortal ascension. This narrative, together with what has been revealed to you and with what you may acquire in connection with instruction respecting your own world, presents an outline of the career of an ascending mortal. The story varies considerably in the different super universes. Yeah, because no world is the same. But this recital affords a glimpse of the average plan of mortal progression as it is operative in the local universe of Nebadon and in the seventh segment of the grand universe, the super universe of Orphanton. And with this we have come to the end of paper 30. This paper 30 is presented to us by a mighty messenger from Uversa. And with this said, I need to say that this paper also contains a lot of information, a lot of food for your spirit, soul, heart and mind. And so let all the information sink into your heart, and know that you do not have to know it immediate. Just re-listen to the audio video, and better is if you would buy yourselves a copy of the Urantia book yourselves and start reading it in your own pace, and also becoming a participant in a study group. You can find these on the website of urantiafoundation.org. Tap in the search block study groups, and you will go to the page where you can find the European study groups if you are living in Europe somewhere, and the American study groups. And I highly recommend you to do this because it helps you in your reading, and it is very efficient to study with those who already are studying this information for more than 10 years. And you can learn from them, and in togetherness we can learn from each other. All right. I wish you all a beautiful, thankful and fruitful day, and that all the things that are coming out of your hands will be fruitful and uplifting, not only for the ones around you but also for yourselves too. And as last, God bless you.